Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peterisms, where I tell stories of my life and just little things that I've learned as I've grown into the person that I am today. And I was trying to figure out which video would be the easiest one for me to film in this chair back today. And I was going to do this Q&A for my Peter Monn channel, and then I was going to do this dedication video to Pee-Pee, which I'm still going to do. But I thought, you know, like this channel over here, Peterisms, is where I just talk about, you know, the things I've gone through in my life and my experiences and stories of my life and grieving and things like that. So I thought maybe this would be the easiest channel for me to start with, or I just don't think that there's any channel that's easy to start with. It feels really, really weird to be in this chair where Pee-Pee sat next to me right here every single day while I was filming. So I'm just gonna kind of talk about things today. Today is, on all of my channels, a way for me just to get back into filming and feeling comfortable. Sitting in front of the camera again. I went and got my coffee and I reviewed a coconut latte for my review channel, and I did my vlog last night. So I'm starting to get more comfortable filming again. If you don't know what I'm talking about, our dog Pee-Pee passed away, and it's been incredibly tough. Really harder than I ever imagined it would ever be. And I think that, you know, grief, like I've talked a lot about on this channel, is so specific to each incident, each person, each thing in our lives. You know, I'm a believer that you can also grieve the loss of a friendship, the ending of a career, the ending of a place of employment, the ending of an apartment or a house when you move, things like that. And especially if you're somebody that has a lot of attachment issues, which I am. I just think that you have to go through this whole process of grieving. And I actually pulled out the meditation book on grieving today that somebody gave me when my mom passed away. It's Healing After Loss, Daily Meditations for Working Through Grief. And I'm gonna read a couple of these on here in just a second. The woman who gave this book to me, her son had passed away from a drug-related death, and she has just been somebody that has been fantastic to me in my life. And I don't know if she wrote it on here, but she was the one that taught me that we don't move on, we move through. And what's interesting about that whole concept of, you know, we don't move on, like you don't move on from your grief, you move through the pain and you carry the memories of the past with you and things like that, is that in the last week, so we had this trip planned. If you watch my vlog, you'll know what I'm talking about. But we had this trip planned, and we ended up going to Mexico, and it was fantastic. It was like this weird blessing in disguise, because we hadn't planned on going on this trip, and then we planned it, and you know, things just kind of turned out that we had it already planned, and you know, we weren't going to go, we were going to cancel the trip, and then we ended up going, and it was just really, really good for us to connect, you know, and talk and grieve, just Alex and I together. And it was such a God moment thing. And, you know, I'm somebody that's extremely spiritual, but my husband is not at all. And, you know, it was interesting because he even said that it felt like a blessing in disguise for us just to get away and, you know, whatever. But I found myself in talking to Alex being like, I don't know how I'm going to move on from this. I don't know how I'm going to move on from this. And, you know, it's interesting, even when you have this toolbox full of tools that of things that you use in your life, you sometimes forget those tools. And, it was interesting because I got a comment after I made this video, like a checking in video, on my Peter Monn channel, and somebody said on there something to the effect of, you know, somebody once said that you don't move on, you move through, because I had said in that video something about moving on. And I was like, God, I needed that reminder, you know? I needed that reminder that I have that tool in my toolbox to use. And that Pee-Pee will forever be with me, you know? And like, well, I'll always have the memories of him sitting in this chair with me. But it's hard, you know? Each little thing is hard. And, you know, it's kind of like, it reminds me of, like when my mom passed away, you know, and like my aunt passed away, it was like the first Christmas, or, you know, which for me wasn't super difficult. It was weird. It was like, I can remember like one of the hardest things for me was like the Academy Awards the year after, because my mom loved the Academy Awards, and it was something that we always did together, you know, was watch them. And I remember, like, my friend Tanya, like, she made, like, these treats, like, you know, this plate of, like, fruit and cheese and stuff, and because my mom used to do that, and we watched the Academy Awards together. And it was like, we had, like, an hour left, and we went to go get a fountain Coke, and she was recording in the last hour, and her husband came into the room, and he didn't know that we were recording it, and he stopped it, and so we didn't get the last hour, and the whole thing was like, it was kind of funny in retrospect, you know, that the whole thing kind of got messed up, because she was trying to make it so perfect for me, you know, like, so that I could have this, like, perfect moment of, like, what it used to be like. And I think to some degree, you know, like, that's what we do when we grieve, is that we remember all of those times. And the last week has been so good for Alex and I. You know, we have showed each other all the videos that we had in our phone, and I have tons and tons of videos and pictures of Pee-Pee, you know, and it has been so good in the last week for us to, like, just tell silly little memories that we had of the dog, you know. And but it's been hard, you know, it's been really, really hard. And that being said, you know, like, maybe we don't move on, but life goes on, and I have to be able to sit down and film videos. This is what I love to do, you know, this is what I love to do, and so I have to continue to, like, figure out how to do that. And so today is kind of my day to learn to get back in front of the camera a little bit. But this video wasn't even going to be about that, honestly. Like, I had kind of, like, on the way back, I was, like, on the plane, and I was kind of, like, scripting out what I was going to do each of my videos about today. And I was thinking about this thing, that, you know, like, we received, I mean, unbelievable amounts of love and kindness from people. People were so kind, and just, I mean, I have a stack in there of probably about 20 or 30 cards that people have sent, you know, condolence cards and things like that. And I've gotten better when people, you know, have experienced loss in their life with, like, what to say and what to do. But, you know, one of the things that's hard for me is, I think that we aren't really taught, like, what to say to somebody in that time. And so I think people just try to say whatever they can, you know. And it's like, it had been, like, I don't know, like, a couple hours or something. And, one of my friends said to me, you know, like, well, he's in a better place now. And I found myself, like, inside, like, you know, I was like, true, you know, like, whatever. And, cause, you know, Pee-Pee had suffered for 2 years with heart disease and then kidney disease on top of that. And he was on 4 medications and, 5 medications at the end. And it just, you know, he was a trooper. Like Alex's uncle said, he was a trooper. And I don't know why that one comment has really stuck with me, but he just was such a trooper, you know. But my friend said this comment to me, and she said, you know, like, he's in a better place. This wasn't Tanya, because I then talked to Tanya about it. And I don't know why, like, so many people have said that to me in the last week. He's in a better place, he's in a better place. You know, and I know that that's something that, it's interesting because in the book that I wrote, so you know, if you don't know, I have a book that I wrote called The Before, Now, and After Then. It's a fictional young adult book. And in there, I even addressed this, you know, like, this idea of being in a better place, and we say that to people. And I think it's something that we say to each other to make each other feel more comfortable, you know? And so that night I said to Tanya, I said, we were driving around, and I said, like, I don't know why, and she knows this friend, I said, I don't know why that kind of, like, it inside of, like, me, like, made me feel like I didn't like how I felt inside when I heard that comment. She was like, well, is it because, like, for you, a better place would be Pee-Pee with you, right? Like, you know he's in a better place. Like, but in reality, like, because I do believe in that. But she's like, but, you know, in reality, a better place, you want him with you. You, like, you know, selfishly, you want him with you. And I thought, that is so true, you know? Like grief-wise, I think that a lot of our grieving is really, really selfish. I think typically when we are grieving people that have experienced, like, you know, long periods of health issues, like my aunt did or my mom, like, why would we want them to continue to suffer? We wouldn't, right? But at the same time, you know, it's like selfishly we want them with us. Like, we miss them. It's us, you know, that misses them. And so while I understand that that sentiment is beautiful, that they're in a better place, at the same time, it's like, you know, I want those people here. I want Pee-Pee here with me, you know? And so it's hard. It's hard to hear that. And but, like, the sentiment was beautiful, you know? But inside, I find myself, and I have to be careful, too, because, like, this happened with my mom, and I don't know if anybody will relate to this. I'm just kind of getting on here and babbling today, but, like, you know, I know that the stages of grief, you know, I know all that, I'm not a big believer that they always go in the order that, you know, they're put out there, or that, you know, I don't necessarily pertain to all of the things that Elizabeth Kubler-Ross believed about death and dying and things like that. But she was one that came up with a lot of this. But I do believe that we feel certain of those stages. And one of the things that I felt with my mom and with Pee-Pee that I didn't necessarily feel with other death that I've experienced in my life is that I've had moments of extreme anger, where I just am like, why, you know, like, just why, you know? And I think part of it was that with Pee-Pee especially, and I've never really experienced this, not with my mom, not with my aunt, not with friends of mine, no, it's denial, you know? That, I really struggled with a lot of denial at the beginning of all of this. I just was like, I just can't believe that I'm never gonna see him again, you know? I can't believe that I'm never gonna, you know, be able to hold him again, or watch him like walk around in the backyard again. And like, and it wasn't like I can't believe, it was like I really can't believe, like it doesn't seem real to me yet. And it's better. Like today, I know like I'm crying on video, but like I was driving around in the car and I went and got my coffee. And I was listening to some music, and it was happy music, you know, because I want to feel happy, you know? I want to feel happy, joyous, and free. I'm going to my home group meeting tonight, thank God. I need a meeting like nobody's business tonight to kind of just like talk about what's going on. I'm so thankful to my family in recovery, who has been just fantastic through this whole thing, you know? If it weren't for my friends and my family in recovery, I mean my friends and family that are part of my recovery program, I don't know really what I would do. You know, I think that it gives the meaning to a lot of things. But it's hard, you know, it's hard. And it's going to be different. It's going to be different every time I sit on here, you know, and I'm going to get the dogs in just a little bit. And I think I'm kind of scared about that, honestly. I'm a little nervous about that and how they're going to react coming into this house and Pee-Pee not being here, you know, and my husband has had just a really, really, really difficult time. And we were doing, you know, the last, I would say 2 days, we were doing okay on this trip. And then we landed in Indianapolis, and I looked over and he just was like bawling, and we both just like started crying, and then we came into the house, and it just was like everything was such a weird reminder, you know? But I also have like such fantastic memories of Pee-Pee. I have, you know, all of these really fun memories of Pee-Pee and all these great videos. And I'm so thankful for my vlog, because I vlogged so much of Pee-Pee, you know, and him being in all my videos. And I have all of that. And that is something that I'm so thankful for to YouTube, you know, that YouTube, if I had never had these channels, if I had never started these channels, I would never have Pee-Pee in these videos to be able to go back and watch, you know, and I'm so thankful for that, you know, and, I have no video footage of my mother, except for she spoke at my cousin's wedding, and my cousin gave me a videotape of that, which I still haven't watched, and it's been, you know, I don't know, a couple years now. But I have no video footage of my mom, none whatsoever, you know. I don't even think I have her voice except for on a cassette tape that my dad gave me from when I was like 5 years old learning how to ride a bike. You know, so it's really nice that I have all of that video footage of Pee-Pee. But I just miss that little guy so much, you know, and I will, I think, for a long time, and that's okay, you know, and I think that there will be moments where I experience great joy, and there will be moments where I experience great sadness, and that's okay, and that's what grieving is all about. I wanted to read this meditation that I found in here, because I haven't read any of these meditations from this book, and I have to go get new meditation books. Like, I'm kind of behind on everything because I've been gone for a week, you know, so I'm going to go get new meditation books to read for this week, or for this year, but I wanted to read this meditation from January 2nd. The mind has a dumb sense of vast loss. That is all. It will take mind and memory months and possibly years to gather the details and thus learn and know the whole extent of the loss. Mark Twain. In case we are feeling driven to somehow get done with our grieving, If I do it faster, maybe I will feel better sooner. Let us be reminded that as in many of life's profoundest experiences, making love, eating, and drinking faster is not necessarily better. Perhaps the reassuring thing about grieving is that the process will not be cheated. It will take as much time as it needs. Our task is to be attentive when the messages of mind and memory come. If we let them go by unattended the first time, they will probably cost more in the long run. If I can let my resistance down, be calm in my soul, my grief will tell me what it needs from me and at each step along the way. And I think that's beautiful, you know, that like we have to, and I know this, you know, we have to just allow the process to happen at its own time and its own speed. So I want to thank you guys all for being there for me and sending me such beautiful, kind messages, and to my husband, sending him such beautiful, kind messages, and for helping me yet again on this journey that I call life. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.